Good evening, world. It's Ivan O'Meara. It's 5 o'clock, coming to 6. I just got back from work. Well, I actually finished work at 4:20, but then I had to walk to Dinty's, and I walked to Dinty's and back. That's like a 1 hour and like 10-minute walk there and back. So I walked to Dinty's and I walked back home. That's like a 1 hour, like 1 hour walk. Good exercise, obviously. Hope you guys enjoy my show on my 2 videos I made yesterday. Talked about my book, Xanus, my masterpiece that I wrote. Now, you guys enjoyed it? Yeah, your book looks sick. Yes, man, my book is a masterpiece, man. It's a masterpiece. You'll see what I mean when you read. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. Because I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, Ivan, like when you said you were gifted, like we didn't know you were that gifted. Yeah, I showed you my beginning of their unique. Yeah, you guys hooked right now. Yeah, that was entertaining, Ivan. Yeah, and I showed you snippets of my book, Dan's book. My whole book is like that, guys. I said my whole book is entertaining. I wasn't lying. When you read my book, you're looking at a masterpiece, man. The best fantasy book ever written when you read it. Yeah. Really, Ivan? Yeah, man. The best fantasy novel written when you read it, man. I wrote a masterpiece. I have to clean my mom's getting a bit messy. Yeah. I have to read that after what? Clean my room. Yeah. Well, you think your book will be the best book ever written? I think it will be the best fast novel written, and probably the best novel ever written in history. I'm talking about novels. Like other non-fiction books don't count, right? Like I'm talking about a novel, like a creative story. I don't think anything is as good as Xanus. Xanus will be the best book ever written in history. Ivan O'Meara writes his book, his fantasy novel. His book's not only the best fantasy novel written, it's like the best. It's the best novel ever written. Out of all the genres, my book, Xanus is even better than all of Stephen King's novels, all the other genres too. Yeah, the Da Vinci Code is better than all those books because all those books they feel a bit dry when you read it. My book, the characters jump on the page, is very unique. I have a unique style of writing because I have the gift from the heavens. God gave me the heavenly gift. I have the gift. I have the heavenly gift. Yeah, and hence why what my book is amazing, obviously. When I told you guys I was creative genius, you guys didn't believe me. Then once you started reading snippets of my book, you're like, holy shit. Every time there's something about Ivan's book that when I read it, I'm hooked. Yeah. I know how to hook you and how to keep you turning the page. My book is an entertaining read. The best fantasy novel written when you read it. Ivan, why is your book unique? Well, because I have the heavenly gift. God gave me I have the gift from the heavens. All these authors have gifts, but they have gifts from the earth. They don't have the heavenly gift from the heavens. Because I have the God gene, I have the special gene. I have this special gift. I have a unique style of writing where my characters jump on a page. And it's different from all these other novels that you read. My book is highly entertaining. It's crazy. Yeah, it's an amazing book. You say, Ivan, I love your book. I know, VJ. It's an amazing book. I'm saying, yeah, I love the character Lithia Ivan. I know. Lithia is an amazing character when you read the book. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. How do you do it? Like, when I read these other novels, the characters feel a bit like the other novels that you read. The characters jump on the page a little bit, but they feel dry and dull. When I read your book, the characters come alive and they jump on the page like crazy. They feel so real. It's like reading a book movie. Yeah, the characters in my book, they come alive and they feel real. That's what my story is so interesting. It's so entertaining. Now, how do I do that? I don't know. It's just a gift I have, man. God gave me the gift. That's why Xanus is number one. Xanus is number one. Number one book, man. Xanus is number one. That's what my stepmother told me when they sat me upstairs like 4 years ago in 2021. They sat me upstairs, and my stepmother was like, "Yeah, Ivan, your book's number one, and Holly will be all over your story." So I'm saying, yeah. And I remember I heard my stepfather. He's like, "How the heck can you come up with a story like that?" Because the gatekeepers, when they read my book, they were shocked. That when they read my book, that's why they want to control my brand. But they're not touching my money, man. Zero. That money's for me. VJ's not for you. If I have the keys, I'm gonna sell to you. That's how it works, Ivan. Yeah. I know everyone hates you with the keys and they talk and everything, but that's how you open the door and that's how you make your money, man. They're just hating on you, Ivan, because they're jealous, man. They can't make their easy buttons like you. They work hard for 50, 60, 70, 80, 100K a year, and you can make your easy buttons. That's why everyone hates you with the keys, because I can open the door so easily. It's easy money, man, for me, VJ, man. VJ got duped. She sold out in the Hollywood system, but she's fucking stupid. She's an idiot, obviously, whereas I didn't sell. But I have the keys. I'm poor, but because I wrote my book and I own the rights to that, and I have the keys on. That's my brand. I don't have to sell the gatekeepers. Because the gatekeepers, Ivan, are never going to let you be a billionaire. It's not going to happen. If you did not have the keys, you'd be sharing with a garbage wife forever the world, and your life will be destroyed. Yeah. Because the world doesn't care if I'm an innocent man who doesn't struggle with sex. They all want a piece of me. They're fucking crazy people. That's why I came with the keys. That way the gates don't dupe me. I don't share with a garbage wife forever the world. Because when the world says sharing, VJ, they mean like for every generation, because they're fucking crazy people. Because the new generation, they're also going to want to have sex with you, VJ, because we're God. When they see us now and stuff, they're all going to want to have sex with me. That's why it's sex with the world for generations. You guys are fucking crazy people. Yo, you have to share with the world for every generation forever. Are you fucking crazy? I'm not accepting that deal. I'd rather wait. I only have to do that, but no way. No fucking way, man. Yeah, man. I'd rather run off and be single than share with a garbage wife. If they gave me the choice, Ivan, you can take your money, run off, live on your own, or share with VJ, I'm like, fuck that. I'm running away. I'm living my own. I'm gonna live my own. I'm not gonna fucking share with a garbage wife. No way. I'm not accepting that curse. So you crazy? You're gonna destroy my life, yeah, man. I know you hate the keys, you have anxiety, and I know I have a mental illness. I can think psychotic thoughts because I have psychosis, obviously, schizophrenia. But that's how you open the door, and that's how you make your money, Ivan. People are just hating you because they're jealous. They can't make their easy billions like you and BJ. You know how many people in the world would love to make the kind of money I make off my book, but they can't make that kind of money. They're not special like me, and they don't have the keys to the kingdom. That's how you open the door, Ivan. That's how you make your easy billions. They're just hating on you because they're jealous, Ivan, and envious. You can make your easy billions. They can't. They work hard for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80K a year. Some make 100, 200, 300K a year, a million a year, 10 million a year, 15 million a year, but they don't make the easy billions like me. Yeah. Me and VJ's movie contract with Xanus is a multi-billion-dollar deal. It's a huge deal. We're going to make, I don't know, our $7 billion off the movie. It's a massive contract with Amazon for the Xanus movie deal, right? Yeah. 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 Ivan, show us more of your book. No, guys, I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll see I didn't read the book. I already showed you enough of my book. I'm not showing any more, man. I don't want to spoil the story for you. I don't want me when you read the book. I'm sorry. So what I showed you guys so far, you guys impressed? Yeah, I'm impressed, man. Your book is fucking entertaining. Yes, my book is a fucking entertaining read. It's not normal, my book. It's unique. Ivan, your book is not normal, man. Like, it's very abnormal. There's something very unique about your style of writing, whereby like the characters jump on a page, they feel so real, and the story is so fresh and entertaining. It feels like life has been breathed into the page. Yeah, when you read my book, it feels like life has been breathed into the page because the characters jump on a page and the story feels fresh. It's entertaining. Whereas these other books are pretty entertaining, but they feel a bit dry. They feel a bit normal going to my book. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I release my book, when I'm king, it'll be a public embarrassment in the industry when I release it. A public embarrassment, yeah. And you're looking at raving reviews, like the critics are going to be giving my book like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 9.8 out of 10. Why do you think some people give your book a 9 out of 10? Some people might give my book a 9 out of 10 because the character of Eretat is not developed as well as the humans. He's developed pretty well, but not as well as the humans. And the story, some sections of my book is a bit raw when you read it, as you guys caught, right? There's some rawness in some of my writing, obviously. Like, Ivan could have had better choices of words. And his flow of dialogue sometimes is a little raw. As you guys caught, obviously. It can be a little raw. But it's still a masterpiece, and it's still an amazing, entertaining book. The best fantasy novel written, man. You guys read snippets of my book, and you guys understand, yeah, Ivan, your book is number one, man. There's something unique about your book. Yeah, my book's unique. It's a unique story. My book's unique. It's a masterpiece. Oh, I work tomorrow at 11:30. I go over. At least I can sleep in, right? I might make a video tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and I upload it, and I go to work at 11:30. I cook over to you. Yeah. Is your book long, Ivan? Yeah, my book right now I'm at 600 something pages. My younger brother only edited volume 1 and volume 2, whereas volume 3 is not edited. So once the proofreader adds volume 3, my book will be like a 700, like, I don't know, 20 page book. It's about, my book probably a 700 page book. It's a long book, but it's a bit longer than Fellowship Ring. Fellowship Ring, when I read it, it was long, man. That's like 500 something pages. My book is maybe a good 150 pages longer than Fellowship of the Ring. 160 pages long than Fellowship Ring, my book. Because it's so entertaining, the 700 pages are going to go by so fast. You're going to binge the shit out of it. Yeah, because I'm an amazing storyteller. Like, if I wrote a 1,000, like, a lot of authors, when they write 1,000 page books, a lot of readers struggle to go through the book because it's so long and some sections of the chapters are boring. Whereas because I'm an amazing storyteller, I make sure all my chapters are entertaining. Where even if I wrote a 900, 1,000 page book, you would binge it in like 2-3 days. Because I'm an amazing storyteller. I know how to hook you, man. I have the gift from the heavens. I have the gift from the heavens. Yeah. Yeah. So now you guys understand why I've been bragging to you guys how my book is better than Lord of the Rings. You guys understand why I've been bragging? Yeah. I read Lord of the Rings. I read all 3 books. And I read my book. And I've been telling you guys for years, there's something about my book that stands up on Lord of the Rings. The characters jump on a page. The story feels fresh. And it's very entertaining. I've been saying that to you guys for years. I finally showed you snippets of my book. And you guys don't believe what I'm saying is true. Yeah. I mean, your book is... There's something about your book that's so entertaining. Yeah, my book is entertaining, man. It's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah, man. It's an amazing book. Ivan, what's your favorite volume? My favorite volume is volume 3. Volume 3. That's my favorite volume. Volume 3. My favorite volume, policy. Because that's when you get the big plot twist. The ancestors, the story gets deep and dark. The dark episode of Taki's life, because Taki is facing the devil himself. You'll see him when we read the book. It's a dark period in Taki's life, hence why it's my favorite, obviously. Yeah. Ivan, did you initially think of the answers when you wrote Xanus? No, I didn't. When I was writing Xanus, I wanted like Takis to fight Eretep, but I did not have the ancestors in mind when I wrote Volume 2. And when I started writing towards the end of Volume 2, like X of Saves, okay, I want to have a big plot twist in Volume 3 with Tactius. And the story gets deep, and the story gets super dark and deep, and that's why I wrote a masterpiece. It's so dark and so deep, it will blow your mind when you read it. Holy shit, I wrote a masterpiece, man. And you'll find in your mind, yeah, no fantasy author can top this story. You can't top this any story. Because no author has kept the reader entertained the way Ivan has, and have the characters jump on the page all the time, and have that amazing story told, man. The best story ever told. It's a masterpiece, my book, yeah. Masterpiece. I'm gonna go upstairs and get coffee, guys. Yeah. So, Ivan, Tactius is the most skilled swordsman in the land? Yes. Tactius is the most skilled warrior in the land, in Xanus. Like, a lot, like, Cassius is like the second best warrior. He's very, very powerful, too. He's strong. He's a strong warrior, but he's not on Tactius' level. Like, when you read that passage, young Tactius, he even says, yeah, Tactius has mastered the arts. He's even surpassed me. At 8 years old, he mastered the arts. Obviously. And Tacitonis was Maramis and Cassius' second best student, but he's not on Tactius' level. But he's also amazing too, Tacitonis. But Tacitonis is not as powerful as like Cassius and like Maramis, right? Those guys are more powerful than him, but he's fourth most powerful. Tacitonis. Yeah. Yeah. So who's the most powerful warrior? Tactius is number 1. Cassius is number 2. Then you have Maramis. Well, Maramis and Cassius are pretty much equal, but Maramis is an archer. Tactius is a melee fighter. So, yeah. So you pretty much have Tactius, and then Maramis and Cassius are the two are tied for second. And Tacitonius is the third most powerful warrior. And you have the rest of the Zayn army. They're pretty powerful too, but they're not as good fighters as Tacitonius are. But they're also amazing fighters too. But Tactius is number 1. Obviously. Hence why Maramis is like, he is Tactius' boy. Royal blood runs in his veins. And you don't really know what that means when you read that passage. But when you read Volume 3, it all comes to light. It all makes sense when you read Volume 3. That's why Maramis said that, right? Yeah. 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 It's Cornelius and Papyri good warriors. They're not bad. They're not trained as Aenards, but they're not bad fighters, obviously. They're not. The Salamans are not bad fighters, but they're a bit sloppy with their fighting. They struggle more with the wolves, but they can hold their own. You see what I mean when you read the battle scenes? Yeah. They yeah. The Northerns kind of have to protect them in a way, right? If they're struggling with the wolves, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Salamans are not bad fighters, but they're not the Northerns. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but Papyri, when you read the book, he's a brave, very brave man. He's even he when the bats were approaching, he was scared and everything. He's like, Taki, you'll protect me, right? And Taki's like, don't worry about it, I'll protect you. And Taki tells Papyri, he's like, be brave. Papyri's he's a brave guy when you read the book. Obviously. Because he's never fought in war before, Papyri. He's a Southern. The Northerns have experience in battle, but the Southerners have no experience. That's why Papyri was scared a bit. And Taki tells Papyri to be brave when the demon bats are approaching in the caverns. So I'm gonna say I almost will sword for you. And later on, he's like we can take Aratat if a fool, and he was getting cocky. And Cassius is like, Papyri, don't fool yourself. He's like, none of us can take Aratat or if a fool. He tells Papyri that I know you're brave, Papyri, but because you killed some of those bats, those demon bats, but you can't beat Aratat. Only Takius can beat Aratat. When you read the book, I won't spoil sword for you. Takius is the only one who can hold his own against for Fool, Aratat, and Ephesus. The other guys can't beat those guys because they're royal beings. They're royalty. The royalty line. The mere humans can't beat them, obviously, because they're royalty. I won't spoil story. See when we read the book. Only Takius can. I won't spoil story. See when we read the book. I won't spoil story for you. Volume 3, right? That's why Volume 3 is my favorite, because you get the ancestors, it gets deep, gets dark, yeah. Dark episode of Takius' life. Volume 3. That's why it's a masterpiece, because you picture the whole story, him behind the walls, he leaves the walls. Remember in Young Takius when he's like, one of these days I want to leave the walls and see what destiny awaits me. And I tie that into the story. Takius leaves the walls and eventually he finds out his destiny. Hence why I wrote a masterpiece, yeah. Obviously. So I your stories and masterpieces. Yeah, the Tacitus. When you read the book, this is all I'm going to say. When you read the book, the Tacitus that left the walls in Volume 1 is a cocky, arrogant prince, and then the Tacitus, that same Tacitus that arrives back to the walls in Volume 3 is now a different changed man. He's a different Tacitus when you read the book. That's why I wrote a masterpiece. He's a cocky, arrogant prince. Then when he arrives to the northern wall in Volume 3, he's now a mature, changed man. He's not that cocky, arrogant prince. And that's why Queen Sarah and them were shocked when they see him, and then you get the rest of the story. I won't spoil the story for you. That's why I wrote a masterpiece, yeah. The Tacitus that leaves the wall is not the same Tacitus who comes back in Volume 3, arriving to the wall. It's not the same Tacitus. He's a changed man. More mature, changed man. I won't spoil stories. You don't even read the book. He grows a beard. You know, and that ties into the story, to the plot. I won't spoil the story. That's why I wrote a masterpiece, man. Please, this one of the rings. I know, please, burn all the rings. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee. I'll be back in a sec. Let's get away. Don't wait. Don't hate me, son. I hope you guys know the show. I'll be back in a sec. Don't hate me, guys. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Well, I'm just to get my coffee. This is old coffee, so it tastes like shit. Old coffee tastes like garbage and trash, man. It doesn't taste good, obviously, right? Yeah. So you'll find out, when you read Volume 3, you get the history of why that world is. The whole history of why that world is the way it is. You get the whole history about the North and the South. Why is the North holy? Why is the South cursed? Why are the wolves cursed? Why are the bats cursed? Why is the atmosphere cursed? Why are the wild animals cursed? Why is everything in the South cursed and the North is holy? And you find out why the humans are not cursed either. So everything in the South is cursed except for the humans living there. The humans there are not cursed because they're humans. I don't want to spoil the story. You'll see when you read Volume 3. That's why I didn't show you Volume 3. Because Volume 3 is when you get the huge plot twist and the story gets deep. It's a dark episode in Taki's life. That's why I wrote a masterpiece, yeah. So you have a cocky, arrogant prince who leaves the northern walls, obviously, of Xanus. He meets Sirius Papyri, he gets thrown in a dungeon, he's a cocky, arrogant prince, he meets Lithia and all that stuff. You have the Exorcisers, and he finds out his destiny, he's a mature, changed man, and by the end of Volume 3, he's in agony, in deep agony, praying, and his friends are crying for him because they feel bad for him, and that's why I wrote a masterpiece. It's a fucking amazing story, man. It's the best story ever told, man. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. I might come with a name, though. I might come with a name for each volume, obviously. Like, Volume 1, I don't know, I might call it, Leaving the Walls. Volume 2, I might call it, like, Volume 3, I can call it maybe Book of the Ancestors, maybe. Books of the Ancestors, I don't know. I can't come up with a good name for the volume. That's why I just call it The Last of His Names, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, right? Yeah. 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 So Takis and Cassius Saxonius eventually become good friends with Eli. Yes, when you read the book, Cassius Saxonius and Takis eventually become good friends with Eli and Cornelius and all stuff. When you read the book, I won't spoil so if you guys. But at first, Eli and them don't believe he's the Prince of Xanus, and they seize him in a dungeon. Yeah, because they couldn't believe that. The Southerners can't believe that the prince from the Holy Northern Kingdom, who has all that status, wealth, he's beloved by the people of Xanus, would come to the cursed South. They just can't believe it. Because the Northerners never come to the South, right? They fear the wolves. It's dangerous. They're not allowed to leave the walls unless for a good reason. Hence why the Southerners can't believe that Takis is the Prince of Xanus when they seize him and throw him in a dungeon. But then when Eli sees Takis in the dungeon, and Takis tells her, "Look, Lithia, I'm telling you the I'm paraphrasing. I forget what he said. Look, Lithia, I'm the Prince of Xanus. I'm telling you the truth." Lithia says, "Takis, I believe you." And Takis like, "Lithia, even though you believe me, you gotta convince your father. Your father's not convinced." Yeah. That's why Cassius has always had to really, really convince Eli to release Takis. Cassius loves Takis so much, his cousin so much, he even offered to sacrifice himself to let Takis go. I won't spoil the story for you. Obviously. He really, really tries his best to convince Eli. Obviously. And he has authority over Eli too, right? He's a Northern, obviously, one of the royal family. That's why Eli was shocked when Job said they claim to be the cousins of Takis. Eli was shocked. Holy shit, what are these Northerns doing here? That's why he's like, how do I know you're not an imposter to whom is a Northern, right? Yeah, how do I know you're not a Southern acting as a Northern? And Cassius had to convince him he's a Northern, obviously. I almost pulled so for you. So I'm going to read that passage. Yeah. Yeah. I can show you one scene, guys. The end of In Search for the Prince, before the captured scene. That's it, guys. I'm not going to show you anymore. Only like one page and that's it. So you guys get an idea of why they got captured, right? And when you read that section, you're going to be hooked again. Yeah. Obviously. Okay, this is the end. The end of In Search for the Prince. That's all I'm going to show you. Yeah. Read this. And that's it, guys. When I say this is my last time in the show, I'm not going to show. This is the end of the insert. This is the end of volume 1. I'm going to show you this scene here. We're looking for Takis. This is before the captured scene, right? You can pause and read that. Pause and read it. When you read it, you're going to be hooked again, too, because I'm a genius, yeah. I told you my book's entertaining. I'm not playing around. It's entertaining. Yeah. Have you read this section here. Pause and read it. And that's it, guys. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. I already showed you enough of my book. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. You guys will find out when I went next. You guys don't really know what's going on yet because you didn't read the whole book. You have a little bit of an idea, but you don't really know what's going on. This is the next page. Pause and read that. And this is the end of volume 1. The end of volume 1 when you read it. Pause and read that, guys. This is the end of volume 1. And then I'll show you this. This is the end of volume 1. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. This is before the full. Yeah. That's the end of volume 1. And then the beginning of volume 2 is the Lithia chapter. Obviously. And then the second chapter is the captured chapter that I showed you when full and them captured them. And that's it. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll see when you read the book. Obviously. Yeah. And when you read that, guys, you're entertaining again. You're hooked because my book is a masterpiece. My whole book is entertaining. I told you guys. My entire book is entertaining. It's entertaining, yeah. It's a masterpiece. I can't show you more, guys. I'll keep showing you stuff. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. You guys still don't really know what's going on, but you have a little bit of an idea of what's going on in each chapter, but you don't really know, right? I'm spoiling it a little bit for you, but I'm jumping all over the place. You guys don't really know what's going on, but you'll find out what I mean when you read my book. And when you read that, guys, were you guys impressed? Yeah. I was impressed, yeah. Yeah. Remember, he's like crows in the south, yeah. Yeah, the northern, they heard the wild crows in the south. Well, the crows didn't attack Cassius and them. But the wild crows can kill you too. But the wild crows that they heard in the south, they didn't they didn't attack them obviously. But that's right before the battle with the 25 wolves. When he for full captures them. I don't want to spoil the story. See what I mean when you read the book. I won't spoil the story for you. I'm saying. Yeah. And that's it, guys. I've showed you guys enough symbols in my book. I can't keep showing you more. Otherwise, I'm going to spoil the story for you. You don't want to do a thing where I spoil the whole story for you and you read the book, you already know what happens. That's why I didn't show you Volume 3. I'm not going to show any more. You guys have an idea what's going on, but you don't really know what's going on because I'm jumping all over the place. You don't know what's going on. But you'll find out what happens when you read my book. I won't spoil the story for you. Were you guys impressed when you read that section at the end of Volume 1? Yeah, I am now sick too. Yes. My whole book is constant entertainment. When I told you my whole book is constant entertainment, I'm not playing around. The whole book is constant entertainment. And the characters, when you read that, they jumped on the page too because I'm a genius, man. I'm a creative genius. I have a gift, man. I know how to tell a good story. Yeah. And you read that passage where Cassie says, in all these generations, never could I have foreseen this because the wolves never touched the lands for generations. Until Taki's generation, they finally touched the lands. Eratat says, yeah, the humans in the south wipe him out, kill him. In Taki generations, he wants all the humans dead, obviously, because he hates the humans, Eratat. Obviously, that's why in that scene that I showed you yesterday, when he's like, can't sleep, Cassius, and he's like, what about my friends, here's Mupari? He's like, they can come with us. I'm now sick, I'm saying, they can come with us. But telling the others just draws his attention. Okay, no, but wait, I can't leave Lithia. He's like, you mean Eli's daughter? It seems you already clarified your feelings, Tactius. We don't have time for this. I'm now sick. I'm saying, yeah. And he's like, what about the Sapphists? We can't just abandon people. And Cass is like, they're not our problem, yeah. Because the Northerners only care about the Southerns. Cass said, look, man, Tactius, I found you, cousin. We're in the cursed south when Eris has her too. Me, you, Tactius, Tony, and Sis, we probably have to get out of here. But Tactius is like, look, man, you can't do the Sapphists of that, man. We can't just leave. We don't tell the Sapphists about the wolves and they just come and slaughter them, man. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? And Cass is like, cousin, man, think twice about what you're saying. Because he knows the Northerns don't like the Southerns. Yeah. And Tactius like, no, Cassius, that's an order. We're going to tell them. And Cassius has to listen to him because he's a prince. He's like, as you say, your highness. He has to listen to him, obviously. Tactius is the Prince of Xanus. He's royalty, yeah. Cassius has to listen to him, obviously, right? Yeah. Yeah. So Cassius and Tacitonians are royalty. They're part of the royal family, but they're not like the heirs, right? Like Tactius is the heir because he comes from Tactius the first. But because Cassius and Tacitonians are his cousins, they're the royal family too. They're royalty too. They're the royal family, but they're not the heirs. Tactius is the heir, but because they're his cousins and they're related to him, they're part of the royal family. When you read the book, obviously. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like Cassius has to tell us, they live in the castle with Queen Sarah and Tactius. They live in that royal castle, the royalty. They're part of the royal family. They all live in the castle with Tactius. Lithius, Tactius' sister, lives in the castle too because they're part of the royal family. Yeah. Is Lithius the heir? No, she's not. She's royalty. She's part of the royal family, but she's not the heir because she doesn't come from Tactius Averse. She comes from Patrice. You'll see that when you read Young Tactius. Queen Sarah has a thing with Patrice, obviously. And that's how Lithius is born when you read Young Tactius. And that's Tactius' half-sister, obviously. Yeah. From Sarah? Half-sister, right? Yeah. Oh, your book is sick, I know. Everything I show you guys are entertaining, right? Yeah, yeah, my whole book is sick, man. It's entertaining, man. Entertaining book, yeah, man. Entertaining book, yeah. Ivan, please show us Volume 3. No. I'm not showing Volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. Volume 3 is when you get the big plot twist. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You guys will find out what I mean when you read it. I don't want to spoil the book for you, man. You'll find out what I mean when you buy my books. Is there? My ebook I'll sell for $22. So for those of you guys who are not that rich, or you don't feel like paying the steep $85, you can pay your $22 and read the book on your laptop if you want. Or if you want to get the nice, beautiful print, you can pay your $85 and you get the print. But the $85 is worth it because you're looking at the best fantasy novel written. You're going to be entertained reading all 3 volumes. You're going to be hooked, man. That were a masterpiece. I have the gift from the heavens. No, Ivan, you bluff, man. Did you really write what you show us? Yes, guys. I'm outlining you guys. I wrote it with no help. I wrote that, man. I wrote it. Holy shit, Ivan, you are gifted, man. Every time I read sections of your book, I'm hooked. And the characters I want to page, yes, man. My book is an entertaining read, man. It's the best fantasy novel written. That's why the Gatekeeper's more control your Ivan, but zero, man. That money's for me. And we just not for you. You're not touching mine on my template on my book. You're not touching it, man. It's me, Vijay's money. It's not yours. You're just a greedy psychopath, yeah. Yeah. Yo, I can't stand the fact that you and Vijay live in that multiple life. I'm fucking envious. I know you're envious, but look, man. You have your trillions in your bank. All the trillions in the world goes to you. The $10 billion off the book, the $7 billion off the book is for me and Vijay. It's not for you. You're not touching my money, man. This is my brand. You kept me poor for my whole life. You did this evil to me. You gave me this fucked up mental illness. And it's what? You're not touching my money, man. Zero, man. My money's for me, Vijay. It's not for you. I'm going to bowl with the gates. You're not touching down my money, man. It's my money, not yours. And they get all pissed off because they're greedy psychopaths, man. Can't stand the fact of me controlling my own money. Because I control everything in the world, everything, all the money in the world goes to us, but Ivan's money we don't touch. He's making his billions off his book, his game, his movie, his merch. He's making all those billions. We want to control that. They see me as a thief. Because the gates are greedy psychopaths, obviously. Even though you make your trillions every year, or tens of trillions every year, you make a big deal over making, I don't know, my $10 billion off my book, man. You're fucking crazy, man. Greedy psychopaths, man. Yeah, man. No, I'm not envious, man. I don't want you being a mother brother with your wife, man, and getting me job fresh stuff. I know. What's going on with Woody, I know. You're envious, but that's too bad, man. If you don't like the fact that me and Vijay, that's tough. You have your money, and this money's mine. You're not touching it, man. You have enough money in your bank. You make enough money in the world. You're just a greedy psychopath. You're a greedy pig. Yeah, there you go. You're a greedy pig, man. You think after what you put me through in my life, knock me all that wrong, all the times where you yelled at me, you put me in the hospital, hiding your wealth from me, causing that fucked up mess, giving me a mental illness, you know what I'm saying, breaking all my games, breaking all my movies and all that stuff, and threatening to kick me out of the house, you know what I'm saying, you think I'm gonna, and you have all that money in your bank, I find out you're the gatekeeper, you have all that money in your bank, you think I'm gonna let you take my money, you're fucking crazy, you're not touching a dime of my money, man, zero. That money's for me, it's not for you, you're just a greedy pig, you're a greedy psychopath. Yeah. Yeah, and what I showed you guys, that's the end of volume 1. And I'm not showing you anymore. I won't spoil it for you. You guys will find out what I mean when you read the books. Is that right? That was sick. I'm saying, this is Aratat's territory, and we are in his domain. Yeah, that was sick. When Cassius told Zolf that, yeah. This is Aratat's territory, and we are in his domain. Crows in the south. Yeah, they heard the crows, right? They're not Aratat's spies, but they're wild crows. But the wild crows didn't attack them, obviously. Can the wild crows kill the humans? Yes, they can. They don't always kill the humans, but they can attack the humans. But the wild crows can't take the northerns, right? The northerns have their swords, so they can't take the northerns. But the southerns, they can kill them, obviously, right? The wild crows, right? Yeah, they heard the crows in the south because the south is cursed. The wild crows in the south, right? And Cass is like, this is Aratat's territory, and we are in his domain. Yeah, the moment they journey into the south, they're in Aratat's territory, and they're in his domain, his cursed domain, right? That's why I wrote a masterpiece. The south is cursed, right? Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah. We have to get out of here. I'm now sick. Yeah. They knew they had a feeling something was not right when they arrived to Cyrus and were looking for Tacius. Yeah. And you get that scene. He's like these vicious rotten wolves, and they're like generals, southern they were. Yeah, because the northerners don't really care about the southerners. But Cassius is like, yes, I know, but they're still human, right? Yeah. Because Cassius, even though he doesn't really care about the southerners, he has a little bit of sympathy for them, a little bit. But he still doesn't really care about the southerners, Cassius, as in that passage you read, right? When he's like, they're not our problem when you talk to Tacius. Yeah, Cassius is willing to just take, look, Tacius, I found you, you're too important, you're the Prince of Xanus. Me, you, Tacitonius, and your two friends, we need to leave now and get out of here. Like, forget about these people, Tacius, they're not our problem. And Tacius like, look, Cassius, we can't just abandon these people. I believe we're here to save these people. I know, sick, I'm saying, fate brought us here. I believe we're here to save these people in the south for Aratat's grass. He's like, cousin, think twice about what you're saying. Yeah, I'm now sick, I'm saying, yeah, because Cassius knows the Northerns don't like the Southerns. That's why he's like, Tacius, this is crazy. Like, you really want to bring the Southerns to the north? Think twice about what you're saying. That's why he said that, obviously, when you read the book, right? Yeah. He's like, I made a promise, Cassius, to Sirius Empire when their homeland was burned to the ground. You don't know what that means, but you have to read What Was Cyrus to Cyrus No More to understand that passage. But I didn't show you anything from that chapter because I don't want to spoil the story for you. So, huh? Yeah. 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 He's like, Ivan, I love your book. I know, sweetie. My book is sick. Ivan, seriously, man, you wrote like the perfect novel. Every time you show us snippets of your book, we're constantly hooked and entertained. Yes, man, my whole book is constant entertainment, man. That's why when I release my book, it'll be a public embarrassment in the entertainment industry, in the author world, man. All these authors like Brandon Sanderson, George, I don't need to be cocky. All these authors like Brandon Sanderson, George R. Martin, J.K. Rowling, you know what I'm saying? George R. Martin, Stephen Erickson, his Malzahn series, Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan passed away, but Wheel of Time is known as one of the best fantasy series too. They're all gonna feel like shit, those guys, man. Because I wrote a better book than those guys. My book is better than those books, man. There's no author, no fantasy author kept the reader hooked the way Ivan did. There's something about Ivan's book that's unique, it's special. When you read it, you're hooked, and yeah. And a lot of people are going to ask me, Ivan, like, how the fuck do you do it, man? How do you know how to keep the reader entertained like that? I'm like, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell you the trick. It's a gift that I have. I have the gift from the heavens, man. I know. I just not. I write and it's entertaining. It's a gift. Yeah, but I even like all these fantasy authors when they write dialogue, the characters don't really jump on the page. And then when you write dialogue, they somehow jump on the page and come alive. How do you do it? It's a gift, man. I have the heavenly gift. I don't know how I do it, guys. I don't know the magic trick that I have. It's a gift, man. God gave me the heavenly gift. I'm gifted, man. It's a gift, man. God gave me the gifts because he knew the gatekeepers would lock all doors with me. That's why he gave me the gifts. He gave me each of the heavenly gifts. That's why I'm able to tell or write an amazing story also. Well, I told you guys my book, I'm an amazing story. You guys probably didn't believe me. Yeah, Ivan's book might not be that good. And I'm showing you this on my book. Holy shit, Ivan, your book's entertaining. Yeah, my book's entertaining, man. It's an amazing book. Masterpiece. Yeah. That's why some fans might like Volume 1 the best. Because Volume 1, they love. Yeah, I love the build-up of Volume 1. Some fans might like Volume 1 the best. But Volume 1 is like the shortest volume. And in my opinion, it's the worst one because it's just the build-up of the story. But it's highly entertaining, like, with Tactus in them, his life behind the walls. He leaves the walls, he meets Heroes of Papyri. You have What Was Cyrus no More. You have the end of Volume 1 and Search for the Prince. As I showed you when Cassius and them are searching for the Prince, right? Yeah. The only snippet I showed you of in Search for the Prince is when Cassius and them talk to Francis, Leo, and Sebastian at the end of Volume 1, what I just showed you today. That's all I showed you. But there's more stuff that happens. I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not going to show you that. I don't want to spoil the story for you. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, I can show us more. No, guys, I'm not. I'm gonna be sure, guys. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not gonna show you anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. If I keep showing you more stuff about my book, I'm gonna spoil the story for you, man. So you'll find out. You guys don't really know what's going on. You have a little bit. I gave you a little bit of spoilers, but you don't really know what's going on. You'll find out when I mean when you read the book. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Hence why I didn't show you Volume 3 because I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll see what happens when you read the book, when you purchase the book. Looking at it, the Aaron Tamer Rival Letter, the best book ever written, man. Yeah, masterpiece. Yeah, book critics would call my book an entertaining ride of a lifetime, an epic, thrilling horror fantasy adventure, a page turner. You know what I'm saying? A literary cinematic masterpiece because the characters jump on a page. My book feels like you're watching like you're reading a book movie. When you read my book, it feels like you're reading a book movie because the characters are constantly jumping on the page and it's so entertaining. That's why a lot of book nerds they'll be binging. Yeah, they binge the whole book in one day because it's a page turner. Can't put it down. My book is the kind of book once you start reading it, you won't be able to put it down. The only way you'll put it down is if you're a bit tired, but you want to know what happens next and next because I know how to keep you hooked and control your mind. You just keep turning the page, and before you know it, you're like 200 pages in. You're done Volume 1, and you binge Volume 2. Volume 2 is even better, in my opinion. And you binge Volume 3, and you finish the book. You're like, holy shit, that's a fucking masterpiece, man. That's the best fantasy I've ever read in my life. I know it's a masterpiece. Best fantasy I've ever written, man. Yeah, man. Ivan, did you know Xanus was the best book fantasy I've ever written when you read it? Yes, I knew it when I read the book. At first, I thought the book might. Oh man, how the fuck am I gonna be able to write a fucking fantasy novel? This is like writing fantasy is difficult, man. And I just started writing the chapters in Volume 1. Volume 1, I did not brainstorm Volume 1. Volume 1, I didn't brainstorm. I started brainstorming in Volume 2. But Volume 1, I wrote as I go. I used my creativity and I wrote as I go. And I read it and I'm like, holy shit, this is entertaining, man. There's something unique about my writing style. And I read other books, it feels dry. Hence why once I wrote my book, and I started my miscellaneous series, I've been telling you guys how it's the best fantasy novel written because I knew there's something unique about my writing. The characters feel fresh. They jump on the page. The story feels fresh. It's very entertaining. Where these other books are entertaining, but they feel a bit dry and dull. They feel a bit normal compared to my book. Because I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, man. A masterpiece. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, man. That's why I told you. When I told you my story is a $1 billion story, now you guys, yeah, I see what you're saying. If I was not the son of God and I wrote this book, I'd have to sell it obviously because I don't have the keys. But my book would be it'd be on Harry Potter. It'd be the most popular fantasy series of all time. Xanus will beat out Harry Potter, guys. And Harry Potter sold 600 million copies around the world to this day since inception, obviously, in the late 90s. Harry Potter has sold 600 million copies. My book will beat that. I'll probably sell maybe 700 million, 800 million copies worldwide around the world. And I make my 10, 12, 13, 14 billion dollars off the book. He's like, how much money you make off your book? I'm like, I don't know, BJ, I made $50 million. You made $50 million off your book? I was like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit. Ivan, that's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money, I'm saying. Yeah, Ivan, you wrote a masterpiece, man. Like, your book was so entertaining, I know. Did you really write that, Ivan? Yeah, I did. Holy shit, Ivan, your book is amazing, I know. You're gifted, Ivan. Yeah, VJ, God gave us a heavenly gift. That's why we wrote an amazing book. We have the gifts from me, VJ. We have the gifts from the heavens. God had to give me the gift because he knew the gatekeepers were locking doors on me. Okay, Ivan, I have to give you the gift because if you don't have the gift, you will not be able to write. Because writing a novel, guys, is not easy, man. Especially a fantasy novel. Fantasy is not easy to write. Fantasy, in my opinion, is the hardest genre to tackle because you have to create a fictional world and make it feel real. You have to make your characters in that world feel real. It's not easy, hence why what made you want to write fantasy? Because I was always drawn to the fantasy genre, right? Like even when I was a kid, fantasy was my favorite genre. Like I remember I loved the Chronicles. Chronicles of Narnia was like my favorite book series when I was in high school. I read like, I don't know, 5 of the books. I love fantasy. There's something about fantasy that always interested me. Hence why I wanted to write it. At first, I wrote that Islamic book, obviously. But my younger brother told me, Ivan, man, don't write this book. If you write this book, you're going to offend the Muslims. And I decided not to write it. I stopped writing that. And then one day, I'm like, I want to write a fantasy novel. And I started writing fantasy. I told you my story, right? And that's how I wrote The Last of Xanus. Amazing story, right? Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. The live is this, man. Are you bluffing, man? Like, what you're showing is, did you really write this on your own? Yes, guys. I'm not lying to you guys. I wrote that, man, on my own. Holy shit, Ivan, you are gifted. Yes, I'm gifted, man. I have the gift. And I showed you my beginning of They're Unique, right? That was also, yeah, that was interesting, too. Yes, man. If I wrote They're Unique, it would have been in the best romance story ever told, too. Yeah. Because I have the gift. I have the gift. I know how to tell a good story, man. I'm gifted. Yeah. Yeah. Because I guarantee when I told you guys I'm going to co-write Xanus, and my book is amazing, you guys probably thought, yeah, maybe Ivan's not that good of a writer. Maybe he won't be able to write a good screenplay. And I showed you guys tips in my book. Holy shit, Ivan's gifted. Yes, I can also write screenplays too. I'm gifted, obviously, but screenplays is difficult because you have to constantly visualize the scenes. But because I'm a creative genius, I can also write a script too. But writing a movie script is more difficult. That's why for that, it's good to have some help. I'm gonna have Peter help me with the script, or Mel Gibson when I write the Xanus script. He's all right. This is Lord of the Rings. I know he's Lord of the Rings. Yeah. 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 No, I mean, seriously, man, all your chapters are entertaining. Yes, there's not one boring chapter in my book. All my chapters are entertaining. Some are weaker than others, obviously, but they're all entertaining reads. As I showed you guys, I told you, Young Tactics, in my opinion, is the worst chapter in Volume 1. You know, what I showed you guys is that it's still entertaining. Yeah, it's still entertaining. Yes, and that's my weakest chapter. And you were still entertained when you read it, right? Yeah. I showed you the first 6 pages of it. Pretty entertaining. Entertaining, obviously. I said, that's enough, sir. Now I said, please don't forget who you're addressing, you know what I'm saying? The son of Tactius, your past king, and Sarah, your queen. You know, I'm now sick, yeah. You're amazing. You're amazing at dog. Yes, I am. I'm not as good as, like, J.R.R. Tolkien and all of them. J.R.R. Tolkien has, like, deeper, richer speech. Brandon Sanderson and George R. R. Martin have deeper, richer, poetic words and everything. But, like, I have more of the hook. I know how to do the page hook, and the characters jump on the page. I know how to make the characters jump on the page, whereas they don't have the heavy gift that I have. There are characters jump on the page a little bit, but my characters, they come to life, man. That's why I gave you the picture with the 2 leaves. You have 2 leaves on a tree. The 2 leaves are both beautiful, obviously, but one is dry. The other one comes to life. The water neutralizes that leaf, and that leaf comes to life. It's not dry. Whereas the other leaf is beautiful, but it's dry. That's the way I see my book in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the one leaf that's beautiful represents Lord of the Rings being a beautifully written book. It's a masterpiece, but the story is dry. It's not fresh when you read it. It feels dry, like it's lacking something, right? Whereas my book, it's beautiful too. It's a beautifully written. It's a masterpiece, but the story is very entertaining. It feels fresh and it comes to life. The characters come to life, and that's why it's so entertaining when you read it. My book, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. Crazy story. I remember when I was in high school. In grade 7, grade 8, I used to read all these books, right, in class. I remember I had that thought, man, like, writing a book must be... I didn't know I was God by then, I had the gift. It must be tough writing a fucking novel, right? And I wrote my own fucking fantasy novel, man. Buried all those books, man. I remember reading The Outsiders in grade 7 when I was in retard class. I read The Outsiders. Yeah. I read The Outsiders in grade 7. Obviously, grade 8, I don't remember if I read a book in grade 8. I don't remember that. But grade 9, I remember in grade 9 I read books in class. I read books in class, obviously, yeah. 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 Grade 9 was the only year I did pretty good in school. Whereas grade 10 and grade 11, when I went to Darcy, I did horrible in school. I had to go to Outlet to finish my school. But I only flunked my classes because I told you I was a horrible student. I didn't go to my classes. I skipped classes. I didn't do my homework. Hence why I went to Outlet. And when I went to Outlet, I put in the work and I finished my high school. I remember I read books in grade 10, grade 11, grade 9. You know what I'm saying? I remember I always had a thought, man, it must be tough to write a novel. And I wrote a fantasy novel better than all those books. And you guys read Simmons' my book. And be honest, man, did these authors keep you entertained the way I did? No, they didn't. Yeah. There's something unique about my story. I'm a creative genius. I didn't know I could write a novel back then. I didn't know I was God. I didn't know I had the gift. Then I wrote my fantasy novel when I was shocked. Holy shit, I wrote a fantasy novel better than all these authors, man. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, amazing book. Because I'm gifted. I have the gift in the heavens. Crazy story. Oh, yeah, crazy story. I mean, that's a crazy story. Yeah, I know, crazy story. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, is writing a novel hard? Well, for me, it's not hard because I have the creative gift, obviously. But if you don't have the gift, you're gonna have a tough time writing a novel. Man, I'm gonna be honest here, man. You're gonna have a tough time writing a novel. Writing a novel is not easy, man. But because I have, it's not easy. It's not hard for me because I have the creative gift. But what? But even though I have the gift, even I can have writer's block too, and I have the creative gift. But sometimes when I write, I also have writer's block. Because writing a novel is not easy, but because I have the creative gift, the gift in the heavens, I'm able to write an amazing fantasy novel, obviously. But writing a novel is not easy. Some sour? It smells like smoke my hands. Yeah. I'm gonna wash my hands. Give me a sec here. Yeah. Man, you are gifted, Ivan. Yes, man. I told you I'm a gifted. I wasn't playing around. I'm a creative genius, man. Everything I showed you guys impressed you, Ivan. Your book is sick, I know. It's a sick book, I'm saying. You know. Have you read your entire book, Ivan? Yes, I have. I read my book a good, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times I've read it. And every time I read it, I'm not barking. Xanus is a book you can reread like 30 times, 40, 50 times in your life. You can never get tired of the story. It's so entertaining. It's a masterpiece, man. It's a book you can reread over and over and over again. But your best experience will be the first time because you don't know what happens. That once you read the book, you're gonna be like, oh man, I wish I can go back in time and read it for the first time again. Because now you know what happens in the story. But a lot of fans are gonna go back and keep rereading it. Because it's a masterpiece. You can reread my book over and over again. And I guarantee you, all you fancy nerds, before the movie comes out, you're going to reread the book to build buzz. Yeah, I'm going to reread Ivan's book to build buzz for the movie. Yeah, the amazing movie, the Xanus movie, man. John May says, Ivan, your book is sick, man. I know my book is sick, John. I'm saying, yeah, it's a sick book, yeah. Number 1. Number 1, my book. Number 1, yeah. Obviously. No, I like Lord of the Rings, bro. I like Game of Thrones better. Yeah, if art hits everyone different ways, if you like Game of Thrones better, I highly doubt it. My book's more entertaining, but if you like Game of Thrones better, Lord of the Rings better, I understand those books are amazing books too. But be honest, man, did those authors keep you hooked the way I did? No, they didn't, Ivan. Okay, if they didn't keep you hooked the way I did, that's your opinion. Everyone's has their own opinion. If you like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, The Wheel of Time, and Malcolm better, I understand. And Harry Potter better, I understand. But like, I've read my books, my book, and I've read Lord of the Rings, and my book, in my opinion, this is me taking off my bias goggles. In my opinion, my book is the better read, man. It's more entertaining. Lord of the Rings has richer worlding, richer speech, the language is deeper than my book in that sense, but my book is a more entertaining read, and my world building is more unique in Lord of the Rings. Even though Lord of the Rings has a richer world building, more lands and everything, there's something about my world building that's more unique. With the north and the south, and the south and the north is unique, obviously. Yeah, Ivan's world building for his book is very unique with the north and the south. The south is cursed, the north is holy. You have the Salins, the northern, you have the demon wolves, the demon bat. That's a fucking unique story, yeah. And you get the history of why that world is the way it is. I wrote a masterpiece, man, when you read Volume 3, right? It's a masterpiece. The Thesis scene will blow your mind away when you read it. That scene is like cinematic. Like when you read that scene, it's like reading a movie, man. It is so deep, and it's so mind blowing. You're gonna be like, holy shit, this book is sick. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece, man. You're just hooked reading it. My book is a masterpiece, yeah, man. Some sections are not as interesting as others, obviously, when you read it, but it's entertaining enough to keep you turning the page. There's not one boring chapter in my book. All my chapters are entertaining chapters. They're all good chapters in my books. Yeah. Whereas when you read all these other fantasy novels, they have boring chapters. Like Lord of the Rings has quite a bit of boring chapters, obviously, right? Like the Tom Bombadil chapter. The Lord of the Rings, the first half of the book is boring. It's boredom. It's just Frodo and them meeting like the Old Man Willow, Tom Bombadil, Mr. Maggot, Farmer Maggot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Gildor, the elf, Goldberry. You know what I'm saying? And finally, when they go through the Barrow Downs, and after that they meet Aragorn, the prancing pony, and once they meet Aragorn, the prancing pony, that's when the story picks up a little bit. But the first half of Fellowship of the Ring is pretty boring, obviously, right? The chapters are pretty boring, obviously. They're not as entertaining. They're not as entertaining as my book. Yeah, Lord of the Rings has better, richer speech, obviously. Like you can tell the dialogue and everything is richer. The speech, richer choice of words. The speech is very rich. The world building is very rich, obviously. Better than my book, obviously. But my book is a more entertaining read. And the story feels richer and it feels more fresh. Hence why my book is better than the Rings, in my opinion, right? Yeah. When I told you guys during the years that my book is better than the Rings, I wasn't playing around. I read Lord of the Rings, and my book is the more entertaining read when you guys read it, right? Yeah, your book's more entertaining read. Yeah. My book is more entertaining read than Lord of the Rings. It's better than Lord of the Rings, man. Yeah, man. Peter, your story's better than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Peter. I enjoyed the book more than Lord of the Rings, Ivan. Yeah, the book's better than Lord of the Rings. It's better than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. Yeah. So the Northerns feel vulnerable. Yeah, that's why you got that scene with Zolf. He's like, we feel vulnerable in the South. He's like, we have to get out of here. Because they know the Northerns fear the wolves. They know when they're in the South, they're in Aratat's territory. It's dangerous, man. That's why the Northerns never come to the South, obviously. It's dangerous. And that's why the Southerners can't believe Taki's the Prince of Xanus. Because what the fuck is the Prince from the Holy Northern Kingdom doing in the Cursed South? They can't believe it, obviously. Because the Northerns never come to the South, right? They never come to the South. That's why they don't believe he's the Prince of Xanus, Eli and them. They just can't believe it. That's why I want to master that wrote. Yeah, but Lithia has a faith. I believe we were telling you the truth, Takis. That's why in Volume 3, Takis tells her, you have great faith. He tells Lithia, you have great faith, obviously. Lithia has a great faith for Tactius when you read the book, right? She has faith in Tactius, yeah, constantly when you read the book. That you can get some biblical with Jesus' disciples, right? Yeah. And you get symbolism of Papyri as Jesus' disciple because Tactius takes Papyri under his wing and he trains him when you read that passage in the Lithia chapter, right? Yeah. Papyri, it's lady from the stairs. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, aren't you going to talk to her? I certainly want to, but I don't want to do it alone. She has to go to the room with her. We'll do it together. He's like, no way am I doing that. I can't talk to one woman and three women. Oh, don't be such a little coward. Grow some balls apart. I now say comes. And how am I supposed to train you if you can't even... That's not fair. I'm not you, Tactius. I'm a fellow farmer from Cyrus. I'm not you. I'm not the Prince of Xanus who gets whatever he wants. That's right, you're not. You know what I'm saying? As the heir, I order you to get out of your ass and join me as your Israel to the three lovely ladies. I'm saying, I'm now sick. I'm saying, yeah. I told you he's a cocky, arrogant prince in when you read the book, right? Yeah. It's a masterpiece, yeah. I'm now sick, yeah. When he meets with it, I was sick. I'm saying, yeah. So sorry. Really? And I like chicken. Really, Paps? Chicken is the best you've got? I told her I'm a great woman. Okay, follow my lead. No, then I'm now sick. I said, yeah. By the way, you women are looking very beautiful tonight. Oh, why, thank you, Tactius. Why the colonius? I was sick. I said, yeah. My book is sick, man. Constant entertainment. Is there any swearing in your book, Ivan? No. There is no swearing in my book. The only word I say in my book is ass. Ass. I use the word ass, and that's it. There's no swearing. There's no swearing in my book. Obviously, Game of Thrones has swearing in, I believe, right? They say the F word there. Yeah, Game of Thrones has swearing in. My book, there is no swearing in it. No swearing in it, obviously. They're unique. If I wrote that, I would have had swearing in that. But there's no swearing in Xanus. The only words I use in Xanus is like ass. I say the word ass, but there's no like F words in my book. No F words. I decided not to put F words in my book because I don't want to have a fast world where they use the F word. I decided not to have, just like Lord of the Rings, they don't have Lord of the Rings, there's no swearing in it. No swearing in it either, right? But my book is a dark horror rated R story, but there is there's no. I'm like, Peter, don't put any swearing words in my movie, right? I don't want the people saying fuck and all that stuff. There is no swearing in my book, but the story is dark. Obviously, it's still a rated R story, but there is no swearing in my book when you read the book. I don't. The characters don't say the F word in my book when you read it. The only word they say is like, bitch and ass. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. They say bitch in my book, obviously, and ass, but they don't say the F. I don't use the F word in my book. There is no F word in my book, obviously. But it's a rated R horror fantasy story, a deep horror story. But there's no swearing in my book. The only words they say is bitch and ass, and that's it. And shut up and that kind of stuff, right? But they don't swear in it. There's no swearing in my book. I decided not to have swearing because I don't want to have the characters swear with the F word. I'm not gonna have it say the F word like Game of Thrones. But it's a fucking entertaining story. It's a masterpiece, man. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. I guarantee you all the Hollywood actors, the executives, the screenwriters, and all of the directors and producers, when they read Simmons' my book, holy shit, man. Ivan's a gifted storyteller, man. There's something very unique about his story, and it's so entertaining. We're drawn to the story. Yeah, when I told you I'm gifted, I wasn't playing around. I'm a gifted storyteller, obviously. I'm gifted, man. I have the gift from the heavens. I know how to tell a good story. I'm sorry? Yeah. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. masterpiece. Ivan, what do you think will be the second best novel? Xanus is number one, and second after Xanus will be probably Lord of the Rings, right? But Lord of the Rings is not as good as Xanus, man. Xanus is a better story than Lord of the Rings. It's more entertaining, and the story's deeper. It's a deeper plot than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is just about the ring possessing Frodo and the people who wield it, and Frodo's going around the ring. It's a deep story, but it's not. My story is deeper than that, man. When you read Volume 3, it's deeper than that, man. It's deep. It's a powerful, deep story, man. It's a masterpiece, man. You'll see, I mean, when you read the book, I wrote a masterpiece, yeah. So, Ivan, there's two suns, yes. There's two suns in my book. You have the sun and the moon in the north. You have the sun and the moon in the south. Because the north and the south are like two different kingdoms, two different worlds when you read the book, right? They're two different kingdoms, obviously. Hence why you have to put a lot of money towards that, because people be like, yeah, Ivan, you have to put a lot of money towards your story. That way you have a beautiful world. Yeah, you have a beautiful world. I showed you guys my idea for the world. You have a beautiful world. My world building's vague, obviously, but when I adapt this screen, it's going to be beautiful. You have the moon and the sun in the north, and the moon and the sun in the south. The sun sets faster in the north, and it sets slower in the south. Sorry, the sun sets slower in the north, and it sets faster in the south when you read the book. So when it's nighttime in the south, it's like evening in the north, right? You have like two different ecosystems, two different kingdoms. The north is pretty much the holy kingdom where the humans live, the Northerns live, and the south is the cursed kingdom where the demonic animal beings live. And the Southerns also happen to live in that kingdom too. The Syrians and the Saphians, they live in that kingdom, obviously. And you have the demon bats in the caverns, the Gilead Mountains in the caverns. I almost pulled a sword for you. Obviously. Are the lands far apart from each other? All the lands are about like a day's journey from each other. So it's a long journey, but they're about a day's journey. It just depends what they do. If they camp and stuff, it can be, if like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you read the book, Tacitus and Cassius, when they escape Barak, they arrive at Saphius at sunset, right? Because they didn't rest. They journeyed like straight without resting. If they rested, they would have arrived around like nighttime. It's like a day's journey. They arrived at like sunset near close to nighttime. When he's like, this horse is thirsty. Why did Caius say that? Because they had a long journey. That's why he told Job, this horse is thirsty, obviously. And that ties into that scene when Job was taking care of the horses, obviously, right? He's like, Job, I take it you had a horse to take care of. Yes, they're well fed. All right, now singles in. But so he's not. And what about taxis? All right, I was sick. I know, I was sick with him. All right, you're an amazing storyteller. Yes, I am an amazing storyteller, yeah. So Job knew what they were doing. Yeah, he knew. When you read that passage, the previous scene, you'll see what I mean. When Cassius and Tacitus were in the stable, and he's like, Tacitus, this is the stable, and that's why Job was like, oh, rats, because he knew what they were doing there. Yeah. You'll see it when you read the book. He was nervous. Yes, they're well fed. And what about Tacitus? All right, I was sick, I know. Perhaps he rested well enough in the dungeon, per se. I knew this man Job suffered mental problems. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tacitus uses the word mented. It's like slang for him being a pothead, obviously, when you read the book. I won't spoil over you. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. Obviously. And in the beginning, in the beginning of the Exodus of Saphius, when Tacitus and Cassius arrived to Saphius and they're walking with Job, some people in the south in Saphius was like, holy shit, are Northerns here? What the fuck are these Northerns doing? The people in Saphius were saying that, obviously. Yeah. Are Northerns here, obviously. Some of, not all of Saphius, some of the people along the streets were like, holy shit, are Northerns here, obviously. Yeah, but not even that scene, they say, and his two friends, fellow Northerns, deemed the same. Yeah, because those were other people in Saphius. You didn't see them, obviously, right? But the people who saw Tacitonius and Cassius are like, holy shit, a northern here, what are they doing here? They're whispering. They're shocked that the Norns, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're all staring at them. Yeah, not all of Safi saw them. A few people in the street saw them. They're like, holy shit, a Northern's here, obviously. But the other people in Safi's in the hostile crowd, they didn't see them, obviously, and they're like, his two friends fell Northern, deemed the same. Yeah, they didn't believe they were Northerns, obviously. He's like, Eli's like, silence, we must have order. I'm now sick. I'm saying, yeah, I was sick. I'm saying, yeah. 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 So, Ivan, what's the name of your chapters? Okay, you have the prologue, and then chapter 1 is Young Tactius, chapter 2 is 22 years later, chapter 3 is What Was Cyrus to Cyrus No More, chapter 4 is In Search for the Prince, and that ends volume 1. Then you have volume 2, the first chapter is Lithia, second chapter is Captured, third chapter is Tactius or Colonius. Obviously, fourth chapter is Landing Chaos, and the fifth chapter is the Exodus of Saphius. That ends volume 2, and you have volume 3. First chapter is Unexpected Journey. Second chapter is What Was Cyrus to Cyrus No. Second chapter is Secret Council Surprising Arrival. Then chapter 3 is Walking with the Answers, and the final chapter is War and Becoming King. So I have 14 chapters in my book. But they're long chapters. Volume 1 is short. The chapters are not that long. Volume 2 is when the chapters they're a bit longer, obviously. And in Volume 3, they're all really long chapters. They're really long. When I wrote in my notebook, every chapter was 100 plus pages per chapter. It's long, Volume 3. Volume 3 is the longest. The chapters are very, very long. Yeah. Volume 3, each chapter will be like 80, 90 pages when you read the book, right? It's a long chapter, like it's gonna be long, like 80 pages for each chapter, 90 pages, even 100 pages for each chapter. It's long. I don't have that much chapters in my book, but my chapters are longer. They're very long. Whereas a lot of these books, they have many chapters because they have short chapters. My chapters are pretty long in my book when you read it, especially Volume 3. Volume 3 is fucking insanely long. It's crazy. Yeah. Almost on here, guys. Yeah. So I have an Aratat's not good, no. Aratat's the epitome of evil. He's a devil himself. He's an evil man. There's no good in him, obviously. Yeah. Aratat has no mercy for the humans. He'll even kill children, too. He's a devil man. He'll kill children, humans. He's an evil man. Obviously. Whereas Takis is good. He's good, obviously. Whereas Aratat's evil, obviously. Ephesus is evil, too. Fool is evil. His son, he's evil, too. Yeah. The wolves are cursed devil beings. There's no good in them. They're evil. They're evil beings. They're evil beings, man. They're devils, yeah. That's why Taki's so Cassius. Look, Cassius, we can't just leave and abandon these people and have the wolves come and slaughter all of them. Like he's like, I believe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cassius is like, luck. And Taki's like, no, fate. I'm now saying, fate brought us here. I believe we're here to save these people in the south from Aratat's grasp. And Cassius is like, think twice of what you're saying, Tacitus. Yeah, because he knows the Northerners will not welcome the Southerners in the North. Yeah. That's why he told Tacitus that. And Tacitus is like, no, Tacitus, that's an order. We're going to tell them. He's like, as you say, Your Highness. Cassius has to listen to Tacitus. Tacitus is the prince, right? He's a prince. You have to listen to him, obviously. So, as you say, Your Highness, yeah. He's like, Tacitus, wake up. He's like, oh. He's like, what? He's like, what? Can't you see I'm sleeping? Jeez. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll sick of it. What? Can't you see I'm sleeping? You know what I'm saying? Taz, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happens to that? I won't spoil a story for you. See when we read the book, I won't spoil a story for you. That's why my book is sick, man. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, man. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, man. So, Ivan, you're very protective of your story. Yes, I am. That's why I don't want any editor touching my story. Fix my grammar, punctuations, and sentence structures, but don't touch my story. I don't need anyone to fix my story. My story's a masterpiece. Don't touch it, but fix up my spelling, punctuations, and typos and all that stuff, and grammar, but don't touch my story. Okay, Ivan. So you only want to do proofreading? Yes. I don't want you doing copy editing and changing my story. My story is already amazing. I don't want you ruining my story, but fix my spelling, punctuations, typos, and sentence structures. Okay, Ivan. Yeah, that way you don't ruin my story. That's why I want to co-write with Peter, because I'm scared if I give Peter full power for the script, he might make all these changes. I'm like, Peter, man, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're going to ruin my story. Yeah. He might have the answers appear in physical form. Peter Jackson, he might have the woman fight, and he's contradicting my plot. I'm like, Peter, what the fuck are you doing? You're going to ruin my story. And so I'm going to co-write with him. That way he doesn't ruin my story, Peter. I'm saying? Because you made a lot of changes over the rings, Peter. You made a lot of changes. I don't want you doing that for my story. Don't make drastic changes. You're gonna piss off fans, and you can ruin my story when you make the movie. Sarah. I'll make the Xanus movie for $2 billion. So $66 million going towards each of the volumes. That's really an amazing movie. Yeah, masterpiece. Yeah, man. Best movie children made. It'll beat out Star Wars. It'll beat out Lord of the Rings. It'll beat out The Godfather. Looking at an amazing story, man. The best story ever told in motion picture. You guys read my book. You guys understand why I'll be the best. Or yeah, Ivan. Looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, looking at a masterpiece, man. An amazing story. John, man, your book's sick, man. I know, John. My book is sick. I'm saying, you know. Yeah. Ivan, you're crazy, man. You think Lord of the Rings, you think your book is better than Lord of the Rings, Wheel of Time, and Game of Thrones. You're fucking crazy, Ivan. Well, I showed you guys citizens in my book, and read those books, and you see a difference, man. My book is more entertaining read. Be honest, guys, man. When you read citizens in my book and you read those books, what story stands out more? What story is more entertaining? Your book, Ivan. Yes, my book is more entertaining read than those books, man. That's why I guarantee when Brandon Sanderson and George R. Martin and J.K. Rowling, they read sections of my book when I made my videos, they were probably shocked. Holy shit, there's something unique about Ivan's writing style, his story, his characters jump on a page. And when we read our books, they're a bit dull. Our books dry. There's something unique about his story. Yes, my book's a masterpiece. It's an amazing story. Burn all those books, man. Yeah, burn Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Way of Kings. Burn all those books. And those guys have help from the editors when they write their books, right? Those guys have help from the editors when they write their books. Whereas I did everything myself with no help from editors. That's why my book is a bit raw when you read some such book, as I showed you. Because I have no editors. But I did everything myself, and I wrote a better book than all those guys. And they have the best editors in the business who edit their books. And my book is better than the books, right? Because be honest, guys, man, when you read Simmons in my book and you read all you fantasy nerds on Fantasy Reddit, you guys read the Stormlight series, Way of Kings, Malice, and Lord of the Rings. Be honest, man, what book is more entertaining? Ivan, your book's more entertaining. Yeah, my book is more entertaining read when you read it, right? The characters jump on the page, it feels fresh, and the story is very entertaining, and you have that hook when you read it. You're hooked when you read it, yeah, because I'm a genius, creative genius. Yeah. Some Sarah? And to ignore the haters I have, they're just jealous, man. They know I wrote a masterpiece. Ivan's book was a bit raw. I like Lord of the Rings better. Okay, if you like Lord of the Rings better, that's your own opinion, obviously. But be honest, man. Like, what book is more entertaining, Lord of the Rings or my book, man? Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, but I told you it's dry, man. It's dry as fuck. The characters don't jump on the page that much, and it feels dry. It feels like there's no life in the page when you read Lord of the Rings. It feels very dry when you read it. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Ivan. You know Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, man, and it feels dry when I read it. It feels dry as fuck, man. Very, very dry. It feels like there's no life breathed into the story, into the page. Whereas my book, it feels like life has been breathed into the page, man. That's why the characters jump on the page. And the story feels fresh, and it's very entertaining. Yeah. It's a different experience reading my book. It's like reading a book movie, man. It's a fucking entertaining read. Whereas Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, but it's a bit boring for me personally. And it's a bit dry. And you guys know what I'm talking about, man. Lord of the Rings, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Ivan. Even though Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, man, the book can be a bit boring sometimes. And it's a bit dry. Yes, it's a bit dry. Whereas my book is a more entertaining read than Lord of the Rings. It's a unique story, too. It's a very unique story. Ivan, are you saying your book is much better than Lord of the Rings? I'm not going to say much better, but it's better, man. It's a better book than Lord of the Rings, man. Yeah. Like, Lord of the Rings, I give it like maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Or you can give it a 9. But my book is like, the perfect story. It's like a 10 out of 10, man. Lord of the Rings, maybe a 9 out of 10, 8.8 out of 10. It's a masterpiece, but because it's a bit boring in some sections, it feels dry when you read Lord of the Rings. It's dry as fuck, man, when you read it. It's very dry when I read it. It feels like there's no life has been breathed into the page. You guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, even though it's a masterpiece, it feels dry when you read it. The characters don't jump on a page much. It feels a bit dull. It's not my book, right? Yeah. Because J.R.R. Tolkien, even though he's a legend, he doesn't have the heavenly gift that I have. He has the earthly gift. I don't even know how he came up with that world. He's a genius, obviously. But he doesn't have the heavenly gift that I have. That's why my book is more entertaining. It's a better book, obviously. So I'm saying, huh? Don't hate me, J.R.R. Tolkien, I'm saying, even though he passed away, right? Yeah. Yeah. So your book is dark, yeah. The wolves drink Eretat, and the wolves, they drink blood. They feast on animals when you read the book. In the book, I say they eat raw meat, but in the movie, I might do a thing where Eretat, he takes a rabbit. You know how Gollum took the fish? Yeah, Eretat takes a rabbit. He just munches on the rabbit. He's a devil. They're devils, man. The wolves, they eat raw meat. They even drink blood. When Faful is born in the prologue, they have this demonic ritual in the Barak. That's what we're looking at our masterpiece. Because Ivan, that's a bit too dark, man. I'm like Peter, man. I want it to be dark. That way, I tell a powerful story. You have like a ritual in Barak. It's like satanic, kind of a satanic ritual. It's very demonic, and they drink blood and everything. It's fucked up, man. Yeah. When you read the book, obviously, and the wolves also feast on human flesh. When you read the book, when you read the captured scene, the wolves feast on human flesh, like the orcs did in Return of the King. You saw them biting the people's neck. Yeah, they feast on human flesh too. The wolves are devil beings. You'll hear the wolves say, they say meat for my tastings. When Tacitus and Cassius are captured in Barak, all the wolves are staring at them. They're like, lunch, meat for my tastings. And Tacitus and Cassius are like fucking scared for their life. You get the scene when they journey through the forest. There's a scene in the captured chapter when they journey through the forest. Obviously, Tacitus tells Cassius, so this must be the great forest. And Cassius is like, yes, this is a great forest, and I can feel the evil of the darkness of the presence of the valley. You have something called the Valley of the Dark that leads to Barak. Cassius is like, I can feel the evil in the darkness of the valley. That's how evil Eretz is, man. And once you pass that dark valley, that evil dark valley where you feel the darkness of the evil, now you're in Barak, and that's where all the demon worlds are. That's why when I apply it to the screen, you look at something scary, man. Something horrific. That's why it's a masterpiece in my book. Cassius is like, yeah, that's one. I can feel the evil of the valley. The darkness and the evil of the valley when you read the capture chapter. Cassius says that, yeah, that's why it's a dark story, obviously. Volume 1 and Volume 2 is a little bit dark because you have the wolves, but Volume 3 is when it gets so dark and the story gets very deep and powerful, obviously, when you read the book. I won't spoil the story for you. You'll see everything when you read it. Some sound. Remember Pippin and Merry in Two Towers when they get captured by the orcs? Yeah, I think something after the capture chapter in the movie, except Eric and them are demons and devils. They get captured. He's like, you're looking at a match. He's a valley of the dark. He feels the dark as the year of the valley. I'm like, yeah, if you're on a match, this is where the rings are. I don't know if he's wearing the rings. It's very Lord of the Rings. I'm saying, yeah, it's very Lord of the Rings, yeah. No, Ivan, seriously, man, you were on a match, man. How'd you call this final program gifts, man? No, Ivan, seriously, man, I enjoyed your book more than Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I up here. No, Ivan, seriously, man, I enjoyed your book more than Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I up here. It's Lord of the Rings. The masterpiece, I'm saying, yeah. 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 So Tacitus is Cassius' older cousin. Tacitus is like 2.5 to 3 years. I don't really explain in the book, but some sections I say 2.5, some sections I say 3. So he's like 2.5 to 3 years older than Tactius. That's why when you read the prologue, when Queen Sarah was about to give birth to Tactius' second, obviously, Tacitus was like a 2.5-year-old kid crying, right? When you read that passage, yeah. Tacitus is a few years older than Tactius. But Tactius is more powerful than Tacitus, obviously. He's a better warrior than Tacitus. Tacitus is one of the best warriors in Xanus. He's an amazing warrior, too. But he's not Tactius, obviously, right? When you read the book. That's why you're going to see John Boyega. He's a badass fighter, warrior in the movie. He's a northern, and you're going to see Jimo Hansu. He's a northern. Like, yeah, a sick movie. I was saying, John, your book's sick, man. I know my book is sick, John. It's a sick book. Yeah, it's a sick book. They got the best movie ever made, man. Yeah. Holy shit, you are gifted. Yes, I told you. It's gifted. I wasn't playing around. I'm gifted, man. I can rap, I can sing, I can act, I can do stand-up comedy. I have the gifts. I could write a book. Yeah, I'm gifted. Yeah. Yeah, when I told you guys I didn't write some shitty book to make money, I wasn't joking around. I wrote a masterpiece because I'm gifted. I wrote the best fast novel ever written. A book worth billions. It's worth billions because I have the keys. I'm the son of God and everyone will buy it. The English people will buy it. But it's also a billion-dollar story. If I wrote this and I wasn't the son of God, I'd be the next J.K. I'd be bigger than J.K. Rowling. Xanus would travel worldwide and be the number one on the charts. My book Xanus would be number one on the charts. The best-selling novel ever in history. Over 700 million, 800 million copies around the world. Something crazy. I made like my 14, 15, 10 billion off my book. Yeah, something crazy, man. Yeah, how's much off your book? By the way, I know, I made $50 million. You made $50 million off your masterpiece? Yeah, I made $50 million off my masterpiece. Holy shit, that's a lot of money, Ivan. Are you gonna share that with me, honey? Yes, sweetie. Relax. I'm gonna share the money with you. Chill, man. I'm gonna share the money with you. Are you gonna share the money with you? I'll share the money with you. I'll share the money with you, VJ. You can't be selfish. I'm sorry. And that's why she cries. That she doesn't want to be left behind. She knows she got duped by the Gates. The Gates will never let her make her money. And that's why she wants me to get out of Hollywood. And she loves me. She wants me. She wants me like she's fucking crazy. I want to be the main event with him, train with him. I want to build that 650 in a house with him. I want to be a movie star with him for Zane. She's crazy. Yeah, I want to travel with him. I want to feature in a magazine, but she's crazy. She's a crazy woman. I want to go clothes shop with him, get nice clothes, get the yacht and the jets. I want to stay at the best cities around the world because she's crazy. Yeah, she's a crazy woman. That's why she cries so like that. She knows she got duped by the Gates because she's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid, man. Ugh. Sell it when you have the keys. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, man. Ivan, get me out of here. I know. VJ wants me to get out of Hollywood because Hollywood is what? It's dirty as fuck, obviously. He's a dirty slave. He is not free in Hollywood. He's a dirty slave. Whereas even though I'm poor, I have my freedom. I didn't sell to the Gates, man. I'm free right now. I have my freedom. When I'm poor, because I wrote the book and I have the keys to the kingdom, that money is mine and that brings for me, obviously, VJ, obviously, right? As I did, sweetie, you're welcome, yeah. Yeah. And that's why I was the best guys over written, and you're also looking at the best movie children made when I adapt the story, obviously. And it was just for you guys to talk for 50 minutes. That's good enough. I'm tired. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow after my shift at 4:40, or I might make a video in the morning before I go to work at 11:30 at 4:40. This is Ivan Mara. I'm signing out. Peace. Don't hate me, guys. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.